Watching any good TV these days?
Um, we've been watching WandaVision, and I've been watching Superstore.
We finished it now, but I think there's one more season actually that isn't on there.
But it's so short, and you can just I don't know.
The
I
binge.
lose track of time easily. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
So
nice and light. It's there's so many things out there that are just so dark,
yeah,
or heavy, or you have to concentrate really hard. This is just a nice, light, humorous comedy.
yeah. Every once in a while, there's kind of a dark episode.
Yeah, one of those PSA kind of episodes. Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really think we've been watching too much TV. Avery and I have been watching lots of Corner Gas.
Oh yeah, we used to watch that a
Yeah,
long time ago. That was so funny. Yeah, that's why we like Kim's
yeah.
Convenience, because Kim's Convenience has the same kind of feel as Corner Gas.
Yeah. So he was going back through it all, and I watched the occasional, whenever we're just wanting to watch something light before bed, we'll watch like an episode of Corner Gas or something. So I haven't really been watching it chronologically, but he has. We don't really need to watch it chronologically. So
No, you don't. I feel like these days I start so many shows and don't watch much of them because I forget that I've been watching them. They're just not memorable enough to keep watching.
yeah, go for sure. And I find that there's just too many shows that do involve a lot of me invested in them. Like I have to be super invested in them.
Danny's been watching Scrubs.
Oh yeah.
I kind of when I watch one with her, they're kind of fun too to watch standalone as well. I think get to know the characters a little bit better, but if you watch them all, I guess.
I never watched Scrubs. But I think I watched maybe an episode one time at Auntie Sarah's house. But
What was the one we were watching last night? I can't even remember. Cloak and Dagger. It's a new one. Except it's kind of
I've
weird.
not heard.
Yeah, it's a Marvel thing again, but I think it was on Disney. But it's really kind of odd. These two kids. I won't give away too much of the story, but these two kids end up in the bay together, kind of rescuing each other, and then they kind of become connected. And one has this light power, and one has dark power, and but the stuff that happens is just kind of it's not like superhero stuff. It's just kind of odd and a little bit of vigilante, but anyway, I'd like to say you have to watch it to get it, but it's odd.
Well, maybe I'll give it a try. I don't know. There's so much TV.
It's a little bit along the same kinds of, I won't say style, but it is the way WandaVision just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense sometimes, but then it all kind of comes together a little bit, right? It feels a little bit like that, which I guess if it's in the Marvel universe makes sense.
Avery, are you guys all caught up on WandaVision?
Yeah, there might be a movie that comes out of it, right? And so they won't start another season. There's also talk there might be a second season before that happens, but
Oh, I mean, not that I wouldn't like a movie, but I don't know. The TV series is kind of nice.
I feel like things have changed, right? Like back in the old days, way back. They were just fun little standalone episodes that you watched that had same characters, right?
Yeah.
And then it become very serialized, right? And then reality TV, that whole thing on the side. But now that everything is streaming and people binge watch things, I feel like it's starting to shift again a little bit, because now they don't make a show based on people watching it every week. They kind of make it based on people are going to binge this, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like WandaVision is like one of those that's kind of in this new evolution where, they'll create, because it's just part of a greater universe, right? They create this little bingeable piece and then they make a movie, right? So people watch the movie and then they might jump into a whole other little binge series and then another movie, right? And it just kind of bounces around within the universe, but it's not like you have one long series that just keeps going.
Yeah. I have appreciated, though, with WandaVision and with The Mandalorian, they have been releasing it episode by episode every week.
Yeah.
Instead of just releasing the whole thing.
It does build some anticipation, and that's kind of neat.
Yeah. And it also, I don't know, it gives me time to talk to people who are also watching it about what they think, the series and stuff. And instead of, I lost track of time and I ended up watching the entire season last night.
But it's nice that you can do that to catch up, though, too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you a couple weeks and then you come back and watch those before, to catch up again. So, it's a new world.
Yeah. but episode 7, Avery was kind of like, he thought it was kind of lame because he didn't realize that like Wanda was the Scarlet Witch. And he was just like, oh, okay. So they're just going to introduce this witch and be like, oh, she was behind it all. Blah. He was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the next episode, when it was revealed that Wanda was the Scarlet Witch, he was like, okay, it makes a little bit more sense now.
We went back and watched, Danny went back and watched, and we happened to be around. Endgame. We had been watching WandaVision. We went back and watched the movie then, right? And knowing now that she's the Scarlet Witch, right? We're watching this. I'm like, but her hair isn't red. The whole movie, her hair isn't red. And then in the last scene, she kind of, becomes the Avenger superhero kind of person. All of a sudden, her hair's red in the movie. Like, it's like it was a last minute decision in the movie or something to suddenly make her the Scarlet Witch. So let's make her hair red. I'm like, what the heck?
I don't know, though. I feel like she was always meant to be the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I'm not a big comic book reader, so I don't know how much of that fit with the comic books. You know what I mean? That's her backstory that would have fit within the Marvel universe, or whether that was just created for the movies.
Yeah. I was watching like an interview thing with Emily Olsen, or not Emily Olsen, Elizabeth Olsen, talking about just like common questions people have. Like those Google autofill interviews that people do sometimes. Yeah, they sit down with like a big board that's like a Google search thing, and they answer common questions that people look up. And it was like, does Elizabeth Olsen play the Scarlet Witch? And this was pre-WandaVision. And she was like, I mean, like, yes, but I guess in this she's called Wanda.
That's what
so
she
I think
called originally too, right? Like in the movie.
Yeah.
Nobody's really called her the Scarlet Witch yet.
Yeah.
And in a sense, WandaVision is really the backstory of her becoming the Scarlet Witch, right? Because the other witch is recognizing her powers as a witch, which she didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? So there is the odd show where I'm actually appreciating them being on there too. They'll say something really quickly, or they'll say something, there's a lot of noise going on or something, and you can actually understand, oh, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I used to hate watching things with subtitles, but Caitlin watches things with subtitles like all the time, and now I've gotten used to it, and now I don't like watching things without the subtitles.
It's kind of nice. I was just gonna say, it's kind of nice if you're watching a movie, because they have that extra wide screen, and you got the black bar top and bottom, and if the closed caption is on the black bar, it's not even interrupting the movie. It's great.
Yeah. Sometimes though we have to turn them off because they spoil things, because they don't wait for the person to say them. They'll just stick the whole sentence up on the.
Do you know what's really fun to do though? Is you watch a foreign film that was created in a different language, it's been dubbed in English, and then has subtitles in English. Because the English that's in the subtitles doesn't always line up with the dialogue in English. And sometimes it's hilarious, the differences, Sometimes we watched one and the names didn't even line up. Like the name in the text was something different than what the name they were using in English.
That's odd.
It is odd, but wow. Probably because the English subtitles are written, so if you watch the film in the other language, you would be able to follow what they're saying because you're reading the English, right? But the dialogue is written to match as much as possible the lip syncing, right? So you got two different translations happening, right? And possible script variations, right? Yeah. So that's totally different. Maybe I'm cramming too many movies in my head.